And now there's an uninvited guest in your home. Not one that came through the front door, but no, had the audacity to come through that gaping hole that you refused to check on because you thought that your morning prayers made you feel better about your superficial relationship with Christ. Wake
and nobody
up.
listens if you're not buzzing, and nobody cares if you're not rushing, and nobody's there if you're not under their skin. I'm stuck.
And welcome to Around the Fire. Hello, my name is Kristen, and welcome to Around the Fire. I'm sitting here with our two performers that you just saw, Josh and Kamila, and we are here going to talk about spirituality. Your spirit is your house. This is your house. You grew up here. There are still etchings in the wall of how many inches you've surpassed since the last dated mark. Books on the shelf that haven't been touched in years, but it just wouldn't be the same without them. A chair that Grandpa used to sit in on Sundays, still smelling of cigar smoke and applewood bacon. This is your house. But what happens when there is a leak in your roof? One that you tried to cover with Band-Aids, but with empty prayers, thinking that saying thank you for waking me up this morning, God, was enough. But what happens when that leak turns into rainfall and that rainfall turns into downpour? And now there's an uninvited guest in your home. Not one that came through the front door, but no, had the audacity to come through that gaping hole that you refused to check on because you thought that your morning prayers made you feel better about your superficial relationship with Christ. Wake up. Squatters have rights. Wake up. Your books are in boxes. Your chair has been removed and your house is being destroyed right from underneath your feet. Do you even remember who built this house? How successful do you have to be to forget about God? He's given you everything, and now you haven't even invited him in for dinner. As for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. My first question to you guys today is, how do you define spirituality, especially in today's day and age?
For me, spirituality really is a coming into knowledge of your true self. And the process of that is the spirituality. It's a part of the journey, not necessarily the arrival of knowing yourself, but to know yourself requires a lot of introspection, shedding off a lot of societal beliefs and norms and impositions that society and even your parents and your influencers place on you before you even get to formulate who you really want to be. And then there's also the true self that is, I believe, is one with God. And internally, when you come to know yourself, knowing your light side and your dark side, what people perceive as good and bad, getting to know those aspects of yourself and accepting them eventually gives you the power to express your true self, which is your higher self, the self that is connected to God and that operates from that God consciousness. That's what spirituality means to me.
your song, I Am That, where did that stem from? Obviously, Uncle Frank, or Frank in this case, asked you to write something for this specifically, but I'd like to know more about your process and where it came from, or where it was birthed, rather.
Well, that song, man, that song came at a time when I was pretty much going through an internal tug of war.
I see.
So I had people telling me who I should be. I had inside of me saying who I am, who I was. And then I had all this other stuff, like this shoulda, coulda, wouldas, like where you want to be in life.
Oh, yeah. Gotta love
what
that.
your parents think you should be, where everyone expects you to be, what people expect of you, and all that. And so I was just so like frustrated. It's kind of like those kinds of things kind of paralyze you.
Oh, they do.
And for me, writing and singing is like a release.
Yeah.
And one day I just got so fed up, like, this is me. Like, I am everything. And I went back to like my spiritual studies and reading about the I am concept, which is the God concept of being all. Like, God is all in all. And if he is all in all and I am a part of this, then I am that as well. And I am a part of God. So I started to think about, you know, the nature aspect of things and how everything has, based on perception, a good and a bad. But who says it's bad? You know, like, it might seem bad to us right now with our limited ability to understand, but in the grand scheme of things, you realize when something happens that's quote unquote bad for you right now, in the future you're like, oh my goodness, thank God that thing happened to me. It didn't feel like a good thing at the time, but I'm so glad it did, because where would I be without that experience?
Definitely.
So even the light and the dark are all needed, and they're all relevant. And so I started to look at myself that way, and so I started to define myself, but instead of letting everyone else define me and feeling the pressure of other people's expectations. And so that's where that song came from. So that was my, like, it was kind of like my anthem song.
Very nice. I love that. I really do. So it's not good and bad, it's good and lessons.
Exactly. Exactly. I like that. You can look at it like that.
Coining terms here.
Today, I woke up a caterpillar. I waddled around and stepped on my own toes. At the end, I wasn't even finished clearing my plate. Lap, armrest, bowl, table, counter, cutting board. The sound of chewing, rhythmic, is a great background to think of the next step to manage my binge eating. Today, I woke up a spider in the corner, a pariah worth ignoring. I wrapped myself up in stories weaved out of spit, peeking out of curtains perpetually stuck to fingertips. I stared strangers stiff and crucified, my own guests. Today, I never came down. Today, I woke in a cocoon and closed my eyes. Today, I woke up in a cocoon and wrapped it tighter. Today, I tried to make my way out and got tired. Today, I sprouted wings, it's getting crowded. Today, someone came knocking on my shell. Do it again, and I will flutter kick you in the face, motherfucker. Today, I woke up an earthworm, mass-producing filth, until I eventually learned to swim. Today, I woke up a butterfly. I winked at you and your significant other. I saw in UV and HD. I smelled like ambrosia and sparkled like stained glass. untethered, my true colors, I smiled. Today, I woke up a bee, busy bee, honey nut cheers for breakfast, lunch, thought chicken for dinner, laundry, shower, cleaning, news, email, super me, buzzing on your news feed, sent 25 texts, 20 were apologies, snapped 3 cats and 4 invitations to a potluck I don't know. By sunset, I lost my wings and my way home. Today, I woke up in honey. I never knew a break could feel so. It ain't so bad. Today, I woke up an earthworm. I only come outside when it's pouring so I can ride without any of you noticing, and I can drink without making a mess. Today, I woke up from last night's thunderstorm and tasted the honey, cozy. Today, I woke up a firefly and flipped the switch, daydreamed myself a jellyfish, daydreamed myself wingless, daydreamed myself floating. Cozy, it ain't so bad. Today, I woke up a mosquito in honey, stuck. And nobody notices if you're not flapping, and nobody listens if you're not buzzing, and nobody cares if you're not rushing, and nobody's there if you're not under their skin. I'm stuck. Sticky, stuck. Today, I woke up and stayed still. Today, I woke up and stayed still. Today, I woke up and stayed still. Today, I woke up. Today, I woke up. Today, I woke cozy.
Josh, your spoken word piece, there's so much in it, and I kind of want to know a little bit more about the layers. Why bugs? Why, what do you call them? Like crawlers of the earth, if you call them. Why?
The piece was originally written just as something that was meant to be expressive of what it's like in not just a single day in the life, but like it's like a period of time in the life of someone who experiences, you know, chronic depression or generalized depression. There is no continuity. There is no emotional certainty. There is no foundation. There is no backbone. And some of the bugs don't have, or you know, skeletons. There's just, you're small and you're one-dimensional. It feels like when looking at it days at a time or from the outside in, it's not a holistic explanation to the experience.
I see.
And sometimes it feels like you're constantly going through these quick transformations, but
yeah, I definitely got that with that piece, because especially the part, you know, when you kept saying you woke up as something else, and you woke up as another thing, you woke up, it's like you really don't know what you're gonna get when you wake up, when you're going through this, you know?
You know, my favorite part of the piece actually is about being stuck in the honey. That stuck with me so much, no pun intended. That stuck with me so much just because honey's so sweet and so delicious, and it's thick and very it's like molassesy, and if that's even a word, it's so like, you know, it's divine, it's golden, it's rich, you know. But being stuck in something so beautiful, with that kind of crystallization almost image is so powerful and moving. And you woke up twice in Honey. It's the first time is a break, and then the next time you're just stuck, you know?
Exactly.
And I think that arc paints a really beautiful picture of what life can really be like, and what life will be like at some point for hundreds and thousands of people. I mean, depression is so relatable, and that's why spirituality is so relatable as well. And I think that you really tapped into something, a world of something. I don't even know what to call it yet, but it's something. Moving into more about the performances, because I really want to get under some of these layers. Do you guys think that you're supposed, or that you can only write what you know? I think that's a term that my professors use a lot, is you write what you know, and if you don't know about what you're writing, then why are you writing it? I mean, what makes your work personal? And from what I've heard so far, you guys' work is so like close to a part of you. And I'd like to know if that is necessarily true. Have you ever written a song that you have content and you know nothing about that content? Have you ever written a poem about something that you just don't know? So you can take the floor.
Well, I think it's a very interesting question that you bring up, because I am someone who definitely thinks that you certainly can write about things you don't know, but it's not something I personally practice. And I think that, you know, what you speak, what you create, what you write is an extension of you, and is an extension of your thought, expression, and your politic.
I see.
And what is so beautiful about poetry is that it is able to challenge what is just so easily just broken down and rationalized by combining the components of the personal and the personal politic. And you know, you're able to have these like forms of expression that not only are so accessible, universal, but also figurative and interpretive, and also able to generate perspectives that we don't already have. And to sort of toss aside that integral part, which is what is personal in terms of what you create, is just in my opinion, a like callous act of privilege from the perspective of a writer or speaker.
It's interesting. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I've definitely, like, there are times when I've woken up from dreams and had to write down something I had no clue about, like no experience. And I just wrote it, you know, and it turned out to be, I found out about it, or I understood the song at a later time, or at a later experience. Also, I write chants that I have really no deep understanding about, but I liken that to intuition. So, you know how sometimes you kind of get this gut feeling, go left, go right, or do this or don't do that, but you don't really know why yet. And but you're glad you followed it. So
it's that discernment.
Right. So I get that, and I write the song, I write the chant, and later on I realize, oh wait, that's from the Egyptian book of Coming Forth by Day, which people call the Book of the Dead erroneously. But you know, you don't know that, and you would have never known. I would have never known if I didn't actually trust that self. Trust that instinct, you know, because I've realized with a lot of introspection is that we're not operating based off of our own consciousness alone.
Yeah.
We have ancestors, we have the energy spirit, we have all these things that play in, feed into our thoughts and our hearts. And so they want to get a message out too, you know?
Totally.
And we should definitely, I feel, try to honor that voice also.
It's interesting. It's really interesting. I'm just going to go off some stuff that I've heard from both of you. I'm in school right now. I'm doing a lot of playwriting and things. That's like my craft. That's what I love to do. I hone in on it. And I recently just did a piece that's personally so close to home for me, and just about my life and who I am now and why I am that way. Very metaphorical, very not so much on the head. For people who know me, they know. But like for people who don't, they're just like, wow, this is an amazing story. But aside from that, going off of what you said, Josh, about that privilege, when you are trying to tap into someone else's story or trying to portray something that isn't yours, is very interesting, just because with theater, it's a different ball game because you have people who are using their bodies as instruments for your story. Whereas poetry can be so personal to you, a song can be so personal to you, but yet I still feel the same way that it is mine. And I think that's interesting because in our own respective crafts, we found a way to give our spirits an outlet that works for us too. And I remember being so afraid to put this show up because I'm like, everybody's gonna know it's me. Oh my gosh, I'm putting myself out. It was my bare all, you know? But then I became so okay with that as the process went on. And I said, wow, this is me. I'm both on stage, I'm in the audience, I'm every person in this room. I am that I am.
I was just thinking that too. Yep.
And I think that is such a beautiful thing, to tap into the whole plane at the same time. And now my question to you is, do you feel that your work interconnects you with people around you? Because you get so nervous when you sing, or you get so nervous when you say a poem, but do you feel that energy, that people are feeling what you're feeling, and I'm there with you, or I'm there with you, and they're there with you? Do you feel that crossover when you're doing what you're doing, despite the nerves and despite the anxiety?
I think there's this point as a performer where you can feel it. You can, when you're talking about the energy you're outputting, and that's, you know, that's your responsibility as a performer. It's for that like genuine, if necessary, raw, you know, like spiritual, you know, release or connection or communication. And when you feel it and you know it's there and it's happening, like it is. I mean, that's all you can ask for. It's the most amazing point or moment.
Yeah.
For me, full disclosure, like the nerves get in the way.
Yeah.
Like, and I wish it wouldn't, but after a certain point, once I kind of calm down, and I feel like a glimpse of the energy, and I'm like, oh, I gotta grab onto that. I gotta stay in that space right there, right? But then if the nerves kick in again, that's it. Like, cause it locks your body up, and you know, that energy is not as free flowing as it could be, or you would like it to be. And then because you're nervous. And nervousness is really, for me, it's like internal criticism. And if you're criticizing yourself, there's no way like that energy is right. It's not gonna flow. So I gotta, you know, get rid of that energy, do things like play with a rock or something, you know, or even like connect on a level where we talk about something else, like a personal experience that we all might have, you know. But it does help that, you know, we're all creatives, and I know that we're all going through the same thing, you know.
Totally.
So.
Totally. All right. Well, it was so great chatting with you both.
Thank you, you too.
I think that this was not only beneficial for all of us, but also for all of us that are watching. And thank you for being so honest and bearing and telling what you had to say.
Thank you. Thank you for pulling it out.